8.
You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales. Streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
2, 1.
At 6 o'clock, at 8 o'clock at night.
Hey, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, everybody.
All right, so John and I are talking about, surprise, food. And the place we found. Now, I have a surprise for you.
For me.
So I went with my daughter and her fiance last night to that new place, Kura Sushi.
Oh, did you go? Yeah.
We did. They were packed. So to explain to everyone, it is a chain in the U.S., where they do the sushi on a conveyor belt. And I felt old and lost. And my daughter knew everything, but there was a real problem, right? So apparently when you insert the plates in the slot, it counts number of plates, right?
Yes. It's usually, I think it's what, $4 a plate there?
Yeah, right. So for every 5 plates, there's a little short, a animated short that comes on the touch screen. And if you get enough, you might win one of those, like I don't know, it's like a vending machine kind of thing, and the little ball, and you open it up, and there's something in there. So she kept grabbing plate after plate. I finally had to stop her. I thought it'd be reasonable, right? 3 people, maybe we get out of there $40. $100 later.
Yeah, it's $100. It's
for a piece of plastic. Dude, there was more food than we can eat. She was just grabbing stuff.
Well, it depends, right? The way they do the plates, I've been to the one in Philly a couple times. And the way they do it is a plate comes out, and if it's more basic sushi, like salmon or tuna, maybe it'll be 3 little pieces on a plate or something. If it's something higher end, like fatty tuna toro or something like that, or then it's usually only 1 piece. I go with a couple of my friends, and we easily, I'm pretty sure it's $4.50 a plate. It's a little bit more expensive in Philly. And we easily wrap up $300.
Wow.
Or close to it. Now, that's including beverages, but, I will wind up eating at least 20 plates worth of stuff.
Wow.
And my friends will wind up probably eating 40 or 50 plates of stuff. And, you go through 160 plates at $4 a piece. You know what I mean? Even if
it was worth going to, and they had a wider range of sushi than you would get in your normal restaurant.
Oh, absolutely. I tell people this is for people this falls somewhere between a high-end place like Sagami, where you need, reservations months in advance, and, omakase style, and your buffet that's in a strip mall or on a highway somewhere, where you roll in and they're just feeding you cafeteria style, and you know what I mean? It's it
was fun. I mean, it was crowded, but we only waited about 20 minutes or so.
They keep everything going.
Yeah, they keep it moving. They keep moving. It feels like you're there for a long time, but once you insert your plate, you're like, all right, we're done.
Yeah, I mean, that's
so
just
how it's going to.
Plus, people love this idea, and I saw this. I was at one of these in Las Vegas in probably 2019, I think. Me and my guys did like a Vegas trip.
Right.
And everybody was having a blast stacking up the plates, right? But I tell people, 10 plates, if I remember correctly, it was $5 a plate at the place.
Yes, CJ, it is at Barnabas.
Yeah, this is sort of a
Dark Shadows
shirt. And I tell people all the time, some of the best Dark Shadows content, Dynamite did.
I'm not sure, Corey, but I will find out for you, bud. But go ahead.
No, I was just saying, and somebody, even if they're a light eater and they do 10 plates, that's $50. It all depends on your point of view. Now, for me, $50 is okay for dinner. There are other people that are like, that's insanity, and they want to go to like Golden Corral.
It's an experience too to go there. Okay, with the conveyor belt, which we've seen on whatever.
Dynamic kitchen. We've actually talked about dynamic kitchen.
Not a bad idea.
We've talked about dynamic kitchen before.
We're gonna cook at one point, right? We're gonna make I grill. Have you make something?
I asked the publisher if he wanted to refit the break room with some kitchen equipment, and he prefers to keep publishing comics like Thundercats and stuff because that's what people actually want to see. So I've actually talked to Kyle too about the kitchen experience, but Kyle has like 19 jobs, and I don't think he wants a 20th.
So I have to admit, it was fun. It was an experience. So I'm glad we went. You had the buzz of a new place because they opened on Saturday and we went second day.
Yep. It's one of those things where I tell people everybody should do it once. Like everybody should do it once to check it out. Me, I kind of
I like that card.
Sticks of dynamite, right? It all depends on the person. It's hard, like people in my Facebook group, some love it, some hate it, some think it's a bargain, some don't. These things are just really sort of the person.
Yeah.
If you like a kind of bigger, louder, the one in Vegas had anime playing on every screen. It had robots zipping around and stuff like that. And some people really dig that. It's like a very Jetsons.
We did, Easy.
We
did. There was a robot waiter who brought the drinks.
Yeah.
You still need a human being to escort the robot, but it's not like Elon Musk kind of robot, but it's still neat.
It's not iRobot quite yet.
Yeah, the food was good. It was an experience. Their tea, the green tea was excellent.
Yeah,
it was really good green tea.
They have one in North Jersey, which they took over. Yeah, and they took over I don't know if it was a super ShopRite or a super food town. It's a huge building.
Right.
And apparently that's the biggest one in this part of the country. And they will have 1,000 cars in that parking lot pretty much all weekend long.
Yeah, it was fun. I'm glad we went.
And I think they're $4.50 or $5.
So I gotta get out more. I didn't realize the racetrack place it's a small city.
Everything in there, and there's a company, and I can't remember the name of it, but they specialize in these. The first one they built in Jersey was in Princeton, right off of Route 1. And it's like a village. You go off Route 1, which for those that don't know, like a major state highway in New Jersey, and you go back about 1/10 of a mile, and you leave the highway, and you're in some weird, almost like wooded area, and it's a huge cluster of buildings, which is a sushi place and a steakhouse and an Italian place, and I think a Bon Thai is in there, which is like a local Thai chain, and it goes on and on and on. And the line in and out of that place, it's like a big circle. Again, Friday about 3-4 o'clock, it starts with people bombing in for happy hour,
right?
Or what they call the lanyard crowd now, and then it doesn't end until like Sunday evening.
I believe it.
My wife has a friend who lives up there, and many times it was like a football widows club. You know what I mean? Where they just grab a bunch of bottles of wine and shoot over there.
TJ, that's a good one.
Nice.
All right, so let's get to the winner from last week. The winner of the comment section. So is it Ninjets? Let me see. It is Ninjets. I don't know which one it is. Ninjets number 2 by Lyrics Lee. All right, so the winner from comments of the last show last week. This was a very good series.
I wish more people, like the people who know. I would like to find a way to grow the sort of Ninjet universe.
Right.
Because it's very, very cool.
Well, the winner from last week is Mr. Easy Go Lucky. Congrats.
Congratulations, Mr. Easy Go Lucky. Congratulations.
So you are the winner of last week's comment section. All right, so
yeah, this is from the universe of Jennifer Blood, and I'll tell you right now, I don't think it was intentional, but Jennifer Blood's universe has become easily identifiable, as like a pseudo John Wick universe,
Right.
right? Like a world beneath a world that you don't see, and it's kind of borderline superpowered assassins, and it's very Kill Bill. You know what I mean? And I would, I don't know.
Well, so hopefully Easy gets it and reads it and becomes a
Yeah.
fan.
Jennifer Blood kind of started as one thing and morphed into something else. Like it kind of started as her and her thing for vengeance or whatever, but the setting kind of became more attractive.
Right.
And it's almost slightly that way with John Wick. I tell people the world of John Wick will continue after Keanu Reeves has decided I've killed 10,000 people. I'm square with the dog. I'm good. You know what I mean? Right. There will be other adventures in that. They've done a show, and they're doing a thing called
okay. I mean, the Continental.
I liked it for what it was. They were trying to kind of give you some kind of content before the next movie started.
Agreed.
And Peacock, Comcast, Xfinity.
It was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah,
it was
for
a TV show. It was okay. The problem was you're used to movies, which are at a much higher scale than.
Right.
If I had never seen John Wick, I'd be like, this is okay TV show. I got no problem with this. I'll watch it. But when it's you, I do think one thing is very good about that show. They show you how the world changed from the kind of 1970s, 80s era of the Continental to John Wick's first movie, which is 2012, 2014 or something like that.
I think so.
You kind of see the way that their world changed. And slightly you're kind of seeing that in Jennifer Blood. So I tell people all the time, if you're a Kill Bill fan, if you're a John Wick fan, there's been a couple other movies like this too. Hotel Artemis fan. Check out Jennifer Blood. Check out Ninjets. It kind of really scratches that itch.
Hey Becky.
Hey,
all right.
Becky.
So shout out to everyone in the house. As always, let me see who's here. I think first one in the house was Corey. Get to the top. Marcus, what's up? Commander in Beef.
It is Robbie Spy Week. Before we kind of get into all this stuff too, real quick, shout out to Robbie. Of course, he's not with us tonight, but
He is
at a signing or something.
Yeah, he has somebody coming to his store.
Later tonight, PCP has one of Robbie's favorite movies from the era, Return of the Living Dead.
Oh, really?
That's what his crew is going to be talking about. You can go hit up Robbie on his social media, and you'll see what's on tonight, which I guess is 9 o'clock our time because he's Central.
Yeah, that's right.
And then just like a few other things. If you haven't checked them out yet, check out Castle's shorts. I know that sounds funny, but Castle does a great job with those. Sold me on the book in his first video, and I'm not an easy sell.
So is there anyone heard
Triple B?
from John? Because it's since the whole thing happened in Florida, I haven't really heard from him.
I have
Somebody,
not seen,
it may have been Jay, I think.
I have not
checked
seen
on him
him
and
a
said he
little
was doing okay. But
if anybody has talked to John, or John, if you're watching this, just kind of chime in a little bit. We kind of want to make sure.
Jay says he'll be back doing shorts soon.
His first short out of the box sold me on something, and that just doesn't happen to me. But I know John; he's like a believable guy. He's really good, and it did help that he sort of pitched something which is in my wheelhouse last board. But I was like, okay, we're good. That's fine. Don't forget to check out Triple B. If you haven't watched the unboxing videos, can't stress enough, check those out. One day I sort of had some weird downtime. I sat in my car, I watched like 7 of them. And it was cool because he opened up stuff that he gotten here on the show.
Oh, cool.
And other shows. And it's neat. It's really cool. Triple B knows the books, loves the characters. Somebody else, again, that comes across as sincere. So
Triple B, I think that there are 2 gifts that people in the group bought for you. They were Dynamite 10-packs. So they should, if you haven't received them already, they should be on the way to you.
And the last thing before we get started here, he's way too humble to say much of anything. But the guy who pushes the buttons and makes a lot of this show work, Jay, he's part of a couple different things. I might be saying this wrong, but Jay's part of something called Hydra Asylum.
Yes, we see that. He uses that account sometimes to watch on Wednesday.
Go actually find out what that stuff is, okay? Because, not only is Jay our guy, but the stuff that they're talking about, I think a lot of the people in this audience would like. Maybe they're already watching it, maybe they're not. I don't know. But before we get started tonight, we have some kind of really cool stuff, some vintage stuff. I just want to make sure we kind of got those shout outs.
Yeah, right.
Go check that out. There's a lot of people behind the scenes in the chat that are doing some very cool stuff. Yeah, the Hypersylum was great stuff, CJ. You're absolutely right. Speaking of which, check out CJ on Instagram. CJ has a bunch of these kind of really cool things that he does. Sometimes he homages other covers. You know what I mean? So go check that stuff out.
Definitely.
Well.
Yeah, definitely.
Now that we're done slobbing everybody, let's.
Yeah. So, all right. So the giveaway for the night. The giveaway for the night is Barbarella number 5, signed by Ken Hazer, TMNT, homage. Hashtag will be EXP Monday. All lowercase.
Blake Northcott was at NYCC this weekend with Rachel Holland.
What?
They were there this weekend? And they were talking about Barbarella, everything that they've got going on. Apparently, they bombed over to a few other tables or whatever, pictures or whatever. Rachel spent a good part of the weekend as Barbarella.
So that's actually a great segue. So Jay, if you don't mind.
He's been dying to tell somebody all day. He told me in the morning.
Yeah.
But now he's dying to tell
everyone had a wonderful New York Comic Con weekend. If you were there, it was a lot of fun. It was very busy. Hit the thumbs up. Hey, look, John.
Nice.
There we go. I'm walking around. I look left and I see the comic cover alive, and I'm like,
oh. Dude, you put on a collared shirt. You were looking for her. Don't lie. You have to be strolling around my.
You know what? The picture's cut out, but he probably had a flower.
Hey, Lorena. Probably, right?
So, guys, if you don't already, hit the thumbs up. If you don't mind, please, thumbs up. There you go.
And Alex has found out what I know and a lot of people know.
Preston, you're not kidding, buddy.
Rachel is not only a sweetheart, but she is super into comics.
Right.
Sometimes, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this, but some cosplayers are primarily models, and essentially you model what the contractor pays you for, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's how the world works.
But she's actually
her and I have had conversations in the middle of the night on Twitter about Vampirella stuff from like the Warren age.
She was very nice.
So she's sort of, she knows her stuff on Vampirella.
Right.
She really did a deep dive into Barbarella. And after her and I had a conversation, not to take credit for it, but after her and I had a conversation, I told her, Dija Thoris is more than like a damsel in distress, wearing not much more than a crown.
Right.
Dija Thoris has a very cool backstory. People don't realize the very first John Carter story isn't about John Carter. The very first John Carter story is called Princess of Mars.
Yeah.
Which is Dija Thoris. So I sort of tried to let her know that this was way more. And of course, I tagged some Dynamite stuff. There's one Dynamite's Dija Thoris story where her and a few people crash in like the temple of like the carnivorous white apes of Mars, and it's just her and a couple people, and it's very alien in that they're kind of wandering around, and this like rabid alpha ape is chasing them. It's super smart. It's larger than all the others, and it's really, she's very much Ripley. Dija Thoris is very much Ripley. There's a couple people, one by one, they're getting picked off. The soldier guys go bum rushing over there. You look like a giant gorilla, man. How do you think this was going to go? So Dija Thoris is left with, I think, if I remember correctly, she's left with an old person, an injured person, and like a young girl, like a young attendant or something.
All right. So I've been kind of talking about it, but I haven't made the official announcement. So we've gotten a new collection in, and unfortunately, we held Jay up today because of that collection, but it took a lot of work to get it processed, get ready for the show. So tonight we really have quite a few things picked for a bunch of different reasons. So let's get through, because we got 3 minutes. We're going to go to our first break. So let's go through the usual suspects. First up, we have the Dynamite 10-pack reader set, 10 random Dynamite titles. $3.99 cover price or higher, so a $40 retail value or higher. And as always, we got it for $5 for the group. And if you want to know what you get for your $5, tune in Triple B's unboxing. Yeah, he is the single biggest buyer of it. He's been gifted the 10-pack, and you can get a feel. I know it's a challenge for our guys here because Triple B sees so many. We do everything we can to not dupe his last shipment. As I said, Triple B, there's one in the mail. If you have not already received it, there were 2 of them. And, we do our best to make sure he doesn't get repeats, but it's kind of hard because we're not really keeping a record or track of what we send him. So, if you get dupes, I apologize for that in advance, Triple B. All right, so.
Triple B, just tell them they haven't sent enough, man. They're not keeping track anyway. Tell them the boxes need to be bigger. I need the Dynamite 125 pack.
All right, so the Dynamic Forces grab bag, 15 books for $10. Wow, Triple B, I'm impressed with
if you find it, I don't know if there's any physical copies in the warehouse left, but if you find it, send him Vampirella and Dark Shadows.
I'll see if I can find it.
2 of my favorite all-time characters, and I sort of had I didn't want to get my expectations too high. They did a very good job with that book. I like that book a lot. To see Vampirella being, who she is and how she is, and if people watch Dark Shadows, Marcus Collins is like an 18th century dude. He's not prepared for a girl running around like in a slingback bikini, boots, and cutting people's heads off. You know what I mean? It's a very neat dynamic.
All right, so then as always, we have the DF mystery box. 2 CGC 9.8s, 1 virgin, 1 signed, 1 exclusive, and 10 back issues. All right. Minimum guaranteed retail value of $200, and we have for $100 tonight. And just a reminder, you'll take a grab. You got it, Becky. Right. Becky, the $10 for $15, I assume. But I got you, Becky. All right. So, Kenneth, go ahead and enter your hashtag, buddy. You're good. All right. Don't worry about it. All right. So, just a reminder, the 2 CGCs alone, okay, would cost you more than $100, whether it's your books or whatever. By the time it's all said and done, and then you get the 1 virgin cover, the 1 signed cover, the 1 exclusive cover, and the 10 back issues. So we have that for $100 tonight, $200 retail value. All right. So you know what? We're at 6:24. All right, Jay, take us to our first break, if you would, please, and we'll get right into back issues when we get back.
Order Battle Quest comics at your local comic shop today.
Something is speaking to you.
Buy more comics.
Just at the edge of your perception.
Buy more comics.
Your senses fill with visions of vortices.
360 comics.
Slowly drawing you to one thundering epiphany.
360 comics!
360 comics!
The universe is telling you to shop with 360 Comics. Joe's got amazing stock from high dollar to $5 books from Silver Age to modern, CGC, variant covers, and more. 360 Comics every Wednesday at 9 Eastern, part of the experience.
Did you know that Arthur, King of the Britons in Monty Python and the Holy Grail was played by a famous Graham? Check out another famous Graham by following our Instagram.
got settled right away.
Hey, we're
We
back.
are
All right.
back.
So we're still talking about sushi. I had such a good time. I just felt so lost. I can't make two. Nice. Glad you got it. So I gotta tell you, if you ever have a chance, I've seen it on videos and things. That conveyor belt sushi was cool.
Yeah.
But I was lost. I felt like such an old man. I almost got hit in a parking lot. Okay, because it's a young hip place to go. So everybody's got one of the
You should let your
EVs,
daughter drive.
right? So we met there because they were going out afterwards, and everyone with EVs, which don't make a sound.
Yeah.
All right, so I almost got hit in the parking lot as I got into my car and pulled out with my stick shift.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it was. If you ever get a chance to go, I highly recommend it. It's an event, an activity. It's not just the food was great, but it wasn't just that. It was the whole conveyor belt thing, and
It is a neat experience, and it's really good to
really
go
cool.
with friends, family. A great type of situation is a lot of times we'll see Robbie, and he's out with his friends somewhere. And that's exactly who you want to go to this place with. Grab a table, grab a bunch of seats by the conveyor belt, like whatever the situation is. One of my favorite things every year, my friends and I get together, and there's a small sushi place in Princeton. And they're only open for part of the year. The day before they open, me and my friends go over and we sit at the giant L-shaped sushi bar, and the rest of the place is closed. And it gives them a chance, like a soft opening. It gives them a chance to do some stuff, work out some kinks, and we have a blast. Thankfully, it's within walking distance of the hotel we crash at in Princeton.
yeah, easy. Because my daughter kept grabbing plate after plate. I was thinking about getting the udon soup, but I didn't. I couldn't eat anymore, dude. It was too much.
Well, I tell people as a veteran overeater, pace yourself. Take your time. Let some stuff go
She
by.
wanted the prize that came out of that thing. Okay?
I know. The
So
prize
I'm like,
makes people
stop. I'll bribe the waiter to open it up for us and grab you one. Okay, it's going to be cheaper that way.
I was going to say, you give the waiter $20, you get your prize.
She opens the little thing. I go, that just cost us $100.
Yeah.
Oh my God. But she's a good kid. She doesn't drink very much. Socially at best.
You think
Like
the
her
secret
dad.
was the secret son sitting outside, tear in his eye as the rain came down, not allowed to eat with the rest of the family?
So no, he came in. But I will tell you one thing. I have one complaint that I can't post on your group because you're not allowed to do that. I see where they're trying to save the money on the soy sauce. What is it with that little pump thing? Oh my God. I probably wasted more time trying to pump soy sauce in the little dish than anything else.
I have a friend who is a super hardcore sushi fan. And I mean, like, belongs to all the Facebook groups, travels all across the Northeast to try different sushi places. I mean, he drove like 5 hours one day to get up to Boston to try like a rooftop sushi place. He carries with him a flask. And that flask is filled with like imperial, certain weight, limited sodium soy sauce that he buys like when he visits like
Nice.
Chinatown or whatever. He will not touch any soy sauce other than this.
Nice. So to answer Kenneth's question, really on our show, we really use the honor system. So we assume that people are going to take advantage, and nobody has ever.
Mark is nice.
So, at this point in time, Kenneth, go ahead and hit the hashtag. I think it's been at least 30 days, if not around there, since the last time you.
Mike Asbill has a great solution, and I use this a lot for everything now. You put it in your phone.
There you
and
go.
the calendar. That's how I know when my stuff is going to renew.
Right.
My subscriptions, doctors, literally everything. The phone has become like a huge chunk of my brain now. That I remember I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm going here. We'll be out, a bunch of guys will be out, we'll decide, we're going to go here, we're going to go there. And then, of course, you wake up the next morning and you forget. A month later, somebody's like, hey, I need you to Venmo me your $1,300 for your share of the trip. And more than once, my response was, trip? With a question mark.
All right, let's get to it. All right, so first one I picked out of a sense of nostalgia, call it what you will. It is 2001, A Space Odyssey #1 from 1976. So beyond the fact that I love that movie and the fact that it was literally prophetic, that movie. So many things really came to happen. The video call, FaceTiming. Of course, the intergalactic call at $3 and something. They missed that one by far. That did not go well. But other than that, it was prophetic, that movie, and I really enjoyed it. So
there's a whole story back here with Kirby and the art and
AI
and Kirby sort of. But people who knew Kirby later in life was super obsessed with all this stuff.
Computer chess. You're right, Preston. All right, so, and you bring up Kirby. That's a good point. One book involving 3 legends: Jack Kirby, Stanley Kubrick, and Arthur C. Clarke. So just giants in their field. Kirby in comics, obviously Stanley Kubrick in movies, and of course Arthur C. Clarke as sci-fi writer. I mean, it's very rare that you have a collection of these geniuses on one book. That and sense of nostalgia. And we have this tonight for $25.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of a book, I think, at some point, if you're a Kirby fan, you kind of have to have it in your collection. If you're a movie fan, you should probably have it in your collection.
Agreed.
I remember back in the day, people, when it would be re-released in theaters, people would go, in altered states to watch the movie, and it made it much trippier. I would say this movie's trippy enough. I don't know if you need any sort of, perceptive enhancement or perceptual enhancement or whatever. This is one of these things, and Kirby did some interviews about this, that later in his career, the things he really enjoyed were 2001, and then he loved the New Gods. He keeps trying to create the same thing over and over again.
Right.
He did it for DC. He did it for Marvel. Eventually, he did it on his own. Disney's Dynamite's own Kirbyverse is filled with characters that essentially are Kirby's. They're superheroes, but they're more like science fiction characters. You know what I mean? For other dimensions, other times, other universes, long before. I can't think of the name of it now. The Gate movie, Stargate. Long before Stargate came out, Kirby was telling stories about how ancient deities were essentially astronauts in Iron Man armor. And I'm certainly not saying Stargate is an original work, but that idea had been around before. And that idea was crystallized and promoted by Eric Van Daniken and its Chariot of the Gods.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It's very much, ancient astronauts that have a much higher tech level than we've still reached.
All right, so now we have Amazing Spider-Man, and we've got some keys, and we're going to start with a Silver Age one, Amazing Spider-Man number 74 from 1969.
This book's in real nice shape when I looked at it when we came in.
Stan Lee and John Romita Sr. And we have this one for $90. All right, then we have Amazing Spider-Man number 108 from 1972. Stan Lee and John Romita again, and first appearance of the Giant one. And we have this one for $25. CJ, good point. ASM 74 was the last 12 center. Yep, good point.
I met a guy at a con years ago that was collecting every 15-cent comic that Marvel did. It didn't matter what they were. He just wanted every 15-cent comic they did, because the comics weren't 15 cents for that long.
Right.
It jumped from 12 to 15, and they went to 20 cents pretty quickly.
Right.
And there were people back in the day. That's a significant jump.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I realize we're talking about pennies, but during that time, you're used to paying 15 cents for something. If you're buying 3 or 4 books a month, that 5-cent price increase essentially was the first time you saw people stop buying books. Like, now I have to pick and choose.
Right. All right. Next up, we have Amazing Spider-Man number 136 from 1974. Harry Osborn first appearance as Green Goblin. And we have this one for $30.
I think in our generation, it's when comics went to $1. When comics went to $1, people were like, hold on a second, man. I got into this and they were $0.25. Now it's $1 and I'm getting less for more.
Yeah.
And I think that's when you saw a lot of people just kind of drop off. Like the 80s kind of ended and everybody was exhausted. All the Secret Wars, all the stuff, you know, the X-Men had won. And then I guess Marvel decided bump up the price, whatever. And I think there were a number of people who just went, you know what, I'm good. I'm good, because I know people that, you know, they stopped collecting at that point, because they're just like, so now when they see people paying $4 and $5 for a comic, they're old man yelling at clouds now.
All right, so then we have Amazing Spider-Man number 139 from 1974, when they went up to $0.25. First appearance of the Grizzly and Mamie Huggins. And we have this for 15. All right, Becky's claiming 136.
Becky, that's a great claim.
You got it, Becky. I got you. All right, so 139 is first appearance of the Grizzly and Mamie Huggins. And we have that for $15 tonight. Then we jump to Black Panther number 2 from 1976, and you got Jack Kirby writing and art in this one, and we have this one for $15.
And this is where the seeds were laid for this idea, which developed into vibranium was essentially like an alien metal that found its way to Earth.
Right.
Before this, vibranium was just sort of throwaway. One writer, you know, the sort of continuity at this time wasn't great. You know what I mean? People's names changes, people's, you know, things change. Kirby started working on Black Panther after he co-created, and he sort of began syncing things up that would eventually become what we know now. You know what I mean? It was sort of a lot of people have accused Black Panther of being very Lee Fawkes the Phantom,
right?
And other sort of secret cities, whatever, Gorilla City, DC. I think that Kirby sort of, you know what I mean? Yeah. Vibranium would not be good if used for a kitchen pan. See, that depends, because essentially vibranium is good for everything.
Is it non-stick?
It's sure, why not? I mean, maybe the greatest line I ever heard about vibranium doesn't come from a comic. It comes from the movie, and it comes from Civil War, where Captain America throws his shield and Spider-Man simply says, "Wow, that thing doesn't obey the law of physics at all, does it?" And he's 100% right. Vibranium does whatever the creators need it to do.
Right.
If it heats up or if it doesn't heat up, it doesn't matter.
All right, now we have Captain America number 100 from 1968. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby again. So this is the first time Black Panther's real name T'Challa is revealed.
Yeah.
So Becky, gotcha, Becky.
That's a nice grab. And this is another one of these books that, this is another of these books you kind of want to have.
Hey, round guy.
As you're in your, you know what I mean, as you're in collection or whatever. This is the kind of book that you want to have. I mean, this is the type of thing that's been reproduced. I've lost track how many times.
You know it, round guy. We were talking about food, and what else were we talking about? All right, so Captain America number 100. No, if I go to a new place to eat, I gotta talk to John. Okay, so this is one I did not get from John though.
Well, somebody said something that they haven't gotten to enough books yet. The faster people buy stuff, the faster we get to the books. If you guys want to pick up the pace and just start claiming stuff one after another, I'll go grab more stuff from Nick's office. I don't,
How about out of your trunk?
Let's not get carried away.
So. No, I didn't hear about this place opening up from John, which I normally do. So you're slacking, bro.
You know what? I've gotten to the point now where the group is so large. I'm happy to let the recommendations kind of get out there organically.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I went there, it started hitting the group. So what happened was somebody at work here at DF told me about it. They were going to go to lunch on Friday, and I said, "Hey, that sounds cool. I'll go with you guys." Then I went to look on the site. So somebody in their corporate office sent out an emailer. The Cap 100. Easy. Let me look for you, bud. Where's the Cap 100?
Should we
And
bring
if it's not written, I will ask Alex come in here and do a
Corey,
spot.
delete that stuff. That's nonsense. Corey, I don't want to see that.
All right, so Cap
Cap is a
100.
terrible character. No.
Where is it? Where's the Cap 100?
Is it in the file?
No, it should be out.
Am I still seeing it?
Not seeing it either.
Oh, maybe it's already in my car.
Where's the Cap 100? I know you gave it to me because I had to scan it. Where'd it go?
That's a good question.
That's what I was going to say. It's not.
Here. Oh, here it is.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
All right.
We'll bring Collecting Dude in to give you his official
So-
guesstimate.
Now that he's off the meeting Rachel Holland at Euphoria.
Rachel was exhausted when she got home. Almost everyone who's at New
I
York
can
Comic Con.
imagine.
Probably 5-0-ish. 5-0.
Oh, I get that was fine.
Unless Collecting Dude presses it.
The front cover looks displays beautifully. There is a small slight stain under the Wasp's flight path, and the back has some staining. Other than that, it does present very nicely with good colors. About a 5-0.
All right, easy. Let us know, bud.
This is the first Captain America issue, as it was Tales to Astonish, and then it became Captain America.
All right, so then we have Captain America number 152. Sal Buscema art, first appearance of Morden. And we have this one for $6. All right. So then we have Captain America number 164 from 1973. John Romita Sr. and Jim Starlin were the creative team. Tales of Suspense. You're good Collecting Dude. He's still kind of dazed from meeting Rachel Holland over the weekend. All right. So 164, and we have that for $15. First appearance and death of Nightshade. All right, next up we got Chamber of Chills, number 3 from 1972, Roy Thomas writer. First appearance of Manfred Samuels, Harry Tussman dies, and Toad God. First appearance of Toad God. And we have that for $10. Kind of sticking with the Halloween theme.
Well, there was a time where I was collecting a lot of this stuff. People don't realize how many of these horror titles Marvel did. At one point, I think they were up to 18 or 19 different sort of chambers, vaults, horror. You know what I mean?
Right.
People remember, I think people tend to remember the DC ones more because they kept them more active. House of Secrets, House of Mysteries, Tower Dr. Fate. You kind of saw that stuff more. I think Marvel here was really trying to kind of bite off the EC Comics vibe.
Right.
From 20 years before, where there are anthologies or these great stories. Keep in mind, I think at this point we're getting Night Gallery. We've gone through. This is like the era of the anthology.
You got it, Becky. All right, so
I tell anyone, if you're interested in anthology TV, Amazon must have at least 20 to 25. That is a great claim, Becky. That really is. I love this book.
I just realized we went +1 over the break time.
Oh, we're done.
All right, so we're going to be right back with more of these back issues. All right, Jay, if you could.
Symphonic verses, Nocturne's romance. A song of romanticized darkness, dreaming death by sleep.
By this time in our journey, we had been on the trail of a very elusive creature for about 96 hours. But all the hard work is about to pay off. Oh, crikey, there she is. Oh, by the markings, I'd say this one's at least a 9.8. Oh, she's a real beauty. A true mint copy. Oh, this one will make a fine slab on anyone's display wall. Oh, she's a feisty one, though. Look out, look out! Mint Hunter Comics is the place to find that mint comic you've been searching for. Mint Hunter Comics, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, part of the experience.
Download our app on Google Play and the App Store. It's so simple, even my mommy can use it. In a world where you hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, that'd be really great, thanks.
Hey, we're back. All right.
We are back. Just talking about New York Comic Con. I'm glad to see cons back in full force, of course. But I have a lot of experience. I belong to a lot of clubs, have a lot of points, all this sort of stuff.
You know that.
I could not find a hotel room. Last minute, I decided to go.
Really?
Rachel and a few other people messaged me literally 2-3 days before the con. I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there.
Try something Secaucus?
And I was like, see, I guess I'm lazy. I just won't do that. I am at the point in my life now where if I go to the con, I want to stay at a hotel where the con is or right next door. Like when I go to San Diego, I usually stay at the Hilton Bayfront. I can walk downstairs in my slippers if I want to for some events down there. Same with also the other side of the convention center is like a Marriott Marquis Marina or something. Right. I've stayed there before. Great sort of Roy Yamaguchi restaurant used to be in there. It was terrific. Yeah, a couple things came up. A place came up in Hoboken, and a place came up like way up towards like Washington Park. And I'm like,
you might as well say.
At that point, I have to try to get a cab. And this, no. The hotels I wanted to stay at had been booked well in advance. Right. I guess they knew this was going to be like a heavy year for cons. We had a lot of the Absolute stuff go out. Right. We had all these little, like you saw, like Invincible season 3 and all these clips or whatever. And that's on me. I should have been more dialed in. I should have.
Yeah, well, last minute, you're kind of gambling.
Yeah, it was just like it was either I could stay in Hoboken and take the barge over every day.
Well, the reason I mentioned Secaucus is the train station's right there.
Yeah.
You can hop on.
See, John, the mistake you made is not having a lot of friends who live in 4th-story walk-ups whose couch you can sleep on, and then not be able to walk come today. That's the mistake.
Round guy. Yours is not. I know that.
By the way, real quick, everybody hit that thumbs up and in your slippers. Isn't that the way you used to come here?
Who says he's not wearing them now?
Blake and Rachel.
Yeah, I talked to Rachel a little bit. Her and Blake had a blast at the con, started doing their thing.
Hit that thumbs up.
So, Ron guy, I do know yours is in the warehouse, packed and ready to go. But they may not have run the label yet. But I'll make sure it goes out tomorrow, bud. All right. So then we got Daredevil number 27 from 1967, Stan Lee and Gene Colan. Death of Mass Marauder. And we have that for $20. All right. And then we got Fantastic Four number 74 from 1968. Stanley and Jack Kirby again, appearance Silver Surfer and Galactus. And we have this one for 30. Then and by the way, Round Guy, you will get a notice when it eventually the label gets run. Okay, so that's the system automatically sending you something. All right, so you should get it sometime tomorrow. All right, then we got Fantastic Four number 185 from 1977. Len Wein and George Perez, newsstand copy. And we have this for $7.
I'm going to pop in to distract you guys just for a minute so Jay can respond to me in the private chat. But, John, the show you really got to work out for next year is coming down to Baltimore. Like, 2/3 of the experience was there. Like, me and Alex and Jeff and Bueller and, like, so many, Joe from 360, we were all there. And, like, I'm looking around going, where's John? Because it felt like you needed to be there, man.
Oh no, I'm glad you let me know that. I've only been down to a con in Baltimore once, and that was years ago. But that's the thing too, I don't necessarily need to be at the biggest con. If I have friends that are going to be at a con, I have zero problems shooting out to, like, I don't care where it is.
John doesn't even know if he's going to a con until like the weekend of. That's why he got locked out in New York.
It's true. And plus, I know I'm finicky at this point in my life. I mean, the very first con I went to, 2 of the 3 days I was out there, I slept in my truck because I just wanted to go so badly. You know what I mean? I saved all my money, got the one book I wanted,
right,
and that was like a win. Now I go to a con and I generally, especially if it's a major con, I go for like 5 or 6 days.
All right, let's go back for Round Guy.
I would love to go for 5 or 6 days.
Right.
People.
One of them is gone, but the 3 that are left. All right, so first one is Amazing Spider-Man number 74 from 1969. Jay, second scroll back. All right, there you go. And we have that one for 90. Then we've got Amazing Spider-Man number 108 from 1972. And we have that one for 25. And then we have Amazing Spider-Man number 139 from 1974. And we have that for 15. And we'll do a full recap in a little bit here. All right, so next up, so let us know if there's anything, Round Guy, you're interested in, bud. All right, so next up, we have Marvel Team Up number 4.
I'm trying to find the show. So
Round Guy's claiming 108 and 139. You got it, Round Guy. 108, and you said
YouTube is so weird. Sometimes the show is the first thing that comes up, and sometimes I'm kind of clicking around to find this, find that. I have to go to the experiences page, and then it shows up.
Gotcha, buddy.
That's
all right,
and
yeah, if you haven't already, to enter the giveaway of the night, #EXP Monday. And I will say this. If you win, because we're trying to encourage comments on the page after the show, it helps the algorithm. If you win, if you are a comment winner, that does not count you out of the #winning. Okay, giveaway. All right, so to be clear, there are 2 separate things. So the #one has a 30-day pause if you've won, but that does not include the comments winner. So if you leave a comment after the show's over, we will do a drawing and it will be announced a week after. Okay. All right. So I wanted to clear that up because there was a discussion about what the rule was. So, all right. So then we've got Marvel Team Up number 4 from 1972. Spider-Man and the X-Men. Jerry Conway and Gil Kane, the creative team on this one. And we have it for 25. Thank you, CJ. All right, so after the show, the comment section should be right below the screen, the window where the show is. All right, so you are claiming 66. Wait. Becky, which one are you talking about? Oh, Marvel Team Up 66. All right, so you want that one. All right, gotcha. So Marvel Team Up number 66 from 1977. It's Superman and Captain Britain for $8. So you are claiming that, Becky. Gotcha, Becky. Becky is so on it. She's one step ahead of me. I haven't read that one yet. Jay must have flashed it on the screen. Man.
Tonight's a great night for people.
Okay, so important info from Jay.
Okay.
Wait a couple of hours. So I'm sorry you're going to make you come back, but if you missed something, you can watch the show on Rewind. And for anyone watching Rewind, just remember, if it's still available, we will honor any price you hear tonight. Kyle, what do you want to say?
It helps us even more if you comment on this show tomorrow.
Oh, okay. So if you can, wait until tomorrow.
So just comment before tomorrow's shows, right? Like you're coming to our YouTube page anyway. Just say hey on every video from today, tomorrow, before you watch tomorrow's shows.
There you go. All right. So here we go. Next up, we got Spider-Man and Batman. Disordered Minds #1 from 1995. Mark Bagley, first appearance of Carnage, the Cletus Cassidy, with the Joker as the bad guys. And we had that for $20.
I think Robbie was just talking about this last week.
He might have been.
You know what I mean? He was just talking about this era of sort of Marvel and DC cooperation at the time, and how we got some really cool stuff that, you know, in a creative world where multiversing is everything. Right. I think this is something that could be revisited for a huge sum of money. However, it requires Disney and Warner Brothers to work together. And, you know, I mean, they're both mega corporations. I don't know if they're that, you know what I mean? I don't know if they're interested in that. But I'd be there with my money if they want to do something with, like, you know, if they want to do like Batman, Captain America on there. Jim.
All right. So then last back issue book of the night, Batman number 358 from 1983. Jerry Conway and Kurt Swan creative team. And we have this for $25 tonight. All right, so let's do a recap real quick. All right, so still available, 2001 A Space Odyssey #1 from 1976. The Masters as the creative team, more or less. Jack Kirby, obviously. Stanley Kubrick and Arthur C. Clarke. It was adapted from them. A wonderful movie. Love that movie. We have that from 1976 for $25. Batman versus John Wick or The Crow. John Wick, gotta be. Personally, for me. All right.
I think Batman versus John Wick has a lot of sort of traction because you've got the guy who won't kill versus the guy who kills like the plague.
Right.
And I think Batman would play well if in the world of John Wick. You know what I mean? Where essentially the world of John Wick is a bunch of kind of Arkham candidates anyway. Where I think the new world of John Wick movie we're getting is the dancer, the ballerina. One of the characters from the last movie is getting her own movie.
Right.
They're talking about they might do another season of The Continental. So they're kind of trying to fill out that universe a little bit. And John and Keanu Reeves and Denzel Washington continue to do these little teases at these different things they're at of John Wick and the Equalizer. And I tell you right now, that if they make that movie, I will give them $100 to go see it.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
And I think a lot of times, probably these people, maybe they're just playing with the fans a little bit, poking a little fun. But
Keanu doesn't strike me as someone who does it.
I think if you look at the world of the Equalizer, there's similarities again to the world of John Wick. This has become real prevalent in a lot of these movies now, where you go about your day, Rex. You come to the office, you do your stuff, you go home. you have no idea that the person living next to you is in some kind of weird safe house. He's a super murderer. You know what I mean? He's got a weird nickname. Half his face is scarred up. I think the first time you saw that was James Bond, right?
I just remembered. Robbie has Tony Fleeks at his store tonight. That's who he has. Doing a signing. That's why he's not here. You just saw it. I didn't. That didn't segue too
well. Fleeks brings up Stray Dogs, which brings up one of the Dynamite announcements from New York Comic Con, where I guess it's Dynamic Forces is doing the plushies.
Yes.
Is it DF that does the plushies?
As far as I know.
You guys can go back and find the full announcement or whatever. But essentially, Dynamic Forces has sort of partnered up with Tony Fleeks, and they're going to be doing plushies based on the adorable characters from Stray Dogs. Although my favorite Stray Dogs was when they were with Red Sonja. I love that cover. It was a metal cover. It's one of my favorite all-time covers. Something about Red Sonja and the dogs works. It's very cool.
All right. So then we had, hey, Dwayne's a pain. What's up, bud? All right. So I know Dwayne is sometimes a buyer back issue. So we're going to go back and do this one more time for his benefit because we didn't get too far in the recap. All right. So first up, 2001 Space Odyssey, #1 from 1976. Put it on because I love that movie. Nostalgia for me. Jack Kirby, art, Stanley Kubrick, and Arthur C. Clarke, obviously for the screenplay and the book. Then we had Amazing Spider-Man #74 from 1969. Stanley and John Romita Jr., Senior rather, Silver Age, and we had that for $90. Then we had Captain America #100 from 1968. Stanley and Jack Kirby again. Black Panther's real name in T'Challa is revealed first time, and we have that for $150. And Easy Go Lucky asked, it's full service, Steve Vendetta, what's up, man? And we have that for $150. Then we had Captain America #152 from 1972. It's Sal Buscema art. First appearance of Morgan, and we had that for $6. Then we had Captain America #164 from 1973. And John Romita Sr. and Jim Starlin creative team. First appearance and death of Nightshade. And we have this for $15. Then we had Daredevil #27 from 1967. Stanley and Gene Colan. Death of Mass Marauder. And we have that for $20.
By today's standards, this
Cap 152. Gotcha, Dwayne.
Nice job, Dwayne. This Daredevil cover by 2024 standards is bizarre. It's literally like a board with images clipped on it. But when you were a little kid and you saw this on the spinner rack, your mind was blown. Stiltman was both terrible and awesome.
Reminds me of Circus.
Well, that's what this reminds me of. This reminds me, I think it's there's an X-Men book where it's just, like it's a circus of crime.
Right. All right. So then we got Fantastic Four #74 from 1968. Stanley and Jack Kirby teamed up on that one. Appearance by Silver Surfer and Galactus. And we have this one for $30.
This isn't the first mention of Celestials, is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that, but this looks super familiar to me for some reason. The baby penguin.
You're killing me. All right, so then we got Marvel Team Up from 1972. Spider-Man and the X-Men. Jerry Conway and Gil Kane team up on this one. And we have this one for $25.
Jerry Conway is one of those names that should be mentioned more and isn't. Because that guy's signature, and he's credited with a massive amount of the House of Ideas vibe that Marvel had going in the 70s.
All right, then we had Spider-Man and Batman Disordered Minds, #1 from 1995. Mark Bagley, first appearance of Carnage, the Cletus Cassidy Carnage, and the Joker as the bad guys in the book. We have this one for $20 tonight. And then we had Batman #358 from 1983. Jerry Conway again, and Kurt Swan as a creative team. And we have this one for $25.
Eddie, I've seen that movie 19 times now.
Ooh, close.
We're really close, Ed. There were a couple days where I just, it's one of those things where I wasn't feeling hot. Or I don't even know if I should say I'm feeling badly, because that makes me sound like I was sick. I was just in one of those kind of dialed out moods, like everyone leave me alone.
Right.
So it was literally just too easy for me to drive over to the mall, slide into your house, have a glass of beer, see a movie, come out, have some dinner, go back in and see a movie. So the Deadpool and Wolverine score jumped a little bit.
All right, so then we have Batman Beyond #1 with Poison Ivy cover sketch by Joe Del Beato and Mariano Nicieza. It's just a retail of $129.99, and we got this one tonight for $65. All right. Then we had G.I. Joe #301 with the Joe cover sketch by Dan Needlinger. And why did I put Dan Needlinger's name twice? I have no idea. Thanks for correcting that for me, Jay. It's just a retail of $129.99, and we have for $65 tonight. This one I really love. I really love Tony Scott. I'm not sure. Mariano didn't tell me, so rather than make a mistake, I just put Joe there. It might be Duke though. All right, so Storm.
It looks like Duke, but
he didn't actually label it that way. So, well, let's say if you want to be Duke, we'll say it's Duke. All right, Storm #1 with Gambit cover sketch by Tony Scott. This one's cool. It's just at retail of $129.99, and we have tonight for $65.
Yeah, I mean, this is a character that was hot, and then he faded into the background, and now people are screaming for, the Channing Tatum Gambit movie.
So
I believe this is actually Dan in the chat.
Oh, Dan, cool. Thanks, Dan, for
Well,
checking
it is
in.
Duke, and thanks for checking in.
So
Dan.
it is Duke, people.
Now return to your art sport immediately. We need a lot more stuff.
So now tomorrow morning, Mariano's gonna yell at me. What did you tell Dan? And he's gonna say it's in the email, but his emails are so long-winded. I must have missed it. Thanks, Dan.
Mariano's a busy man.
Now you just asked me.
If you had to crush the hopes and dreams of that many young people, you wouldn't have time for cleanse-nice emails.
He was talking to somebody today, and he was just he started off with the okay. We got to have a conversation like we're college friends, college buddies. Okay, I'm thinking, oh, this can't be good. All right, so here we go. Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin with Goblin and Spider-Man cover sketch by Will Torres.
Wow, Will really nailed it too.
It's just a retail of $129.99, and we have for $65.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this and we have a little bit of fun, kind of poke a little fun at Mariano. But Mariano has dug out Dan, Will, Jessica Court, several of the talents that we feature on this show and other shows. And I got to tell you that the response has been real positive, real fast.
So yeah, Dan, thanks for watching, dude. But more than anything else, we love your work.
Yeah, Dan, your work is as they say in the wrestling business, your work is over.
All right, so then we have Symbiote Spider-Man #1 with Venom cover sketch by Jessica Court.
And here's
another one that
Jessica
I love.
Court doing that. I love the negative space game when they kind of play that, and this is sort of a great.
Suggests a retail of $149.99, and we have this one for $65 tonight. All right, so then we've got a signed book Daredevil, Woman Without Fear, #1, signed by Erica Schultz. It's just at retail at 30, and we have for 15 tonight.
Or as I like to call this, the Superior Daredevil.
Wait, what? Alberto? Huh?
Yeah, I must have accidentally deleted something when I was doing that slide. So no, it's not $5, y'all. I messed up and deleted the 6.
You're good. It happens. All right. Oh, Jessica Court. Okay, yeah. So it is 65. So that was a typo, but it happens. All right. So then let's go to our CGCs. All right, here we go. Got some nice ones. First up, we got Werewolf by Night, #14 from 1974. It is a 9.6. And we've got this one for $250. Trying to stay with that Halloween theme.
I remember having to hide this book as a kid because my mom was afraid I would get nightmares. All the horror books had to get hid under my bed. And after a while, that box got real full.
So I have back problems now.
And one shoulder is all the way up on the side. But there's something about horror and the comic book format that just seems to really work in the hands of like a creator who understands that. You know what I mean? Building up suspense or whatever. Sometimes I'll read some of the old horror stuff, eerie, creepy, and I'll see them trying to recreate stuff you'll see in like Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
TJ. All right. So next up we have Monstrous, #1, CGC yellow label. Signature series, 9.8, signed by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takata. We have this one for $1,800. And there are payment plans available if you need. I realize these are not quite the same as the normal books we have. So if you need some time to pay, we have payment plans available.
Eddie, one of the things I pester Nick about, and I'm kind of running out of things to pester him about because over the years he's pretty much given me everything I've asked for. I would love to see Dynamite do a black and white magazine format horror book. I've talked to a couple creators who would be totally into doing that. I just don't think there's a market for magazine format books. Because, I mean, we've seen Nick take some big swings at things where people might not necessarily think about it. And then, you know, stuff like Thundercats is flying off the shelves or whatever. I just don't know if anything non-standard, you know, well, maybe we'll do it like in red and white, Eddie. Like Bloody Tales. It'll be like red and white or something like that. But I would love to see that. I just don't know. Yeah, sure, you might sell 50, 60, 70 copies to some hardcores. But, you know, even when Dark Horse about 15-ish years ago did some eerie and creepy books, they all redid them in comic format. And I think they were still great stories, but they lost something in this sort of shrink down process.
All right, so then we have Frank Franzetta's.
Exactly, Dwayne. All the people are mentioning comments. Large format are hard to store. Large format is hard to find bags and boards for. Right. Have you ever seen if you send a magazine to CDC? It's just, you know what I mean? It's not ideal. The truth of the matter is I still have tons and tons and tons of non-Vampirella horror magazines. They're just in boxes. They're just in bags. You know what I mean? I didn't, you know, their value isn't there. Every once in a while I'll go to a con and pick up like something I really liked. And, you know, the comic equivalent is $300 and the magazine equivalent is like, especially on the last day of the con, you give me $10, it's fine. It's just not there.
All right, so Frank Franzetta's Dracula Meets the Wolfman #1. It is a CGC 9.8.
It's a Frazetta thing, right?
Yeah, it's a 1 of 1, and we have it for $200 tonight.
John, the market on the Euro-sized books that like Distillery and some of the other companies are doing is growing a lot in the under 35 converting over from manga crowd.
Oh, very cool.
But
I like to hear that.
I think we're a few years away from full magazine size being back.
Yeah.
So I think there's like a transitional step that needs to happen, right?
Yeah, something
But I'm
to
with
sort
you
of.
on it. I want them back. I want to see Eerie Magazine again.
Well, one of my favorite things, and this sounds so lame, but as an old man, one of my favorite things is I'll bring reading copies of those to the beach, and people will be like, "Dude, what are you reading?" And I'm reading like, something from like the 70s or whatever, you know what I mean? And I'll explain to them, well, this is a reading copy with like a coffee stain on it. I found somewhere for a couple bucks. The real copy, if I could find a good one, obviously back in the house or, that sort of thing. It's hard. I would love to see that. We'll say in my lifetime. I think Kyle's right here. There has to be some kind of transition. Maybe the Black Label type size books or whatever. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the exact. This sounds like the kind of thing like Jen would talk about with like creators or whatever. Like because her show is more geared towards that. I think. But I would love to see. And I've talked to creators, Dynamite creators, guys like Dave Acosta. Those guys are like, I am all in on that. I am, all Nick has to do is make the call, and they are interested in doing new books.
All right. So next up, we
have artists here like Dan in the chat, Chester Report. I think new artists doing new style covers in that format would also kind of be.
All right. So next up, we have Ghost Rider number 22. It's a CGC 9.8. There are only 14 of these on the census. All right. And we have this one for 200.
Yeah, Eddie, it was mentioned a little bit earlier. Yeah, this is sort of like almost like a pseudo lithograph look for Barnabas Collins. Dark Shadow is probably one of my favorite things. It was one of my earliest.
You mentioned that before.
Dark Shadows was my first sustained introduction to horror. Horror was the thing I'd watch with my dad. My mom would go to play bingo, and I was supposed to be in bed. And my dad would have out, we'd do the Jiffy Pop popcorn, grape sodas, and I'd be watching, Fright Night movie theater, whatever it was, right? I wish it glowed in the dark, Eddie. I hoped it would, but it didn't. I have not had the best of luck with glow in the dark stuff.
All right. So then we have Werewolf by Night number 32. CGC 6.5 from 1975.
That's not it.
That's not it.
We got a little.
Jed, yeah, no.
Yeah, Dark Shadows was something my mom for whatever reason didn't want me to watch horror, especially when I was younger. Dark Shadows I could get away with because it was on and in the format of soap operas, right? And she had watched it for a little while, and in the beginning, Dark Shadows is like a typical soap opera. But then all of a sudden, they kind of take a turn onto the dark side, and it's awesome.
So, John, can you do your Vanna White for a sec?
Sure.
It is the center book, CGC. If you can hold that up to the camera.
Sure.
There it is. So this is it. And we have this for $1,000. It is white pages and a fantastic center. So Jay, did I not send it to you, or
you more than likely did? It's just every time PowerPoint does something random, and if I don't,
I'm going to take this out of its plastic bag just so people can kind of maybe see a little bit better. The light is sort of a reflection problem, but I just wanted people to see how
poor Vanna White, sir.
I am, but I wanted people to see how nice. This is like one of those books where if you buy one book in a year, something of this condition is what you want to buy.
And again, on these high dollar ones, we do have payment plans. Just so you know. All right. This is the Werewolf by Night is 1,000. Again, white pages, fantastic center. I hear you, Ron guy. All right. So then we got Captain America. Captain America's Comics, number 74. It is our only Golden Age book tonight. CGC 1.8, and we have it for 7,500. And this one, obviously, we will definitely do a payment plan for you.
I can do
From
$10 a month for.
just eat out less.
That is legitimately the nicest copy of Werewolf by Night I've ever seen. I love Werewolf by Night and those books. Unfortunately, I don't think they had the collectability, at least, especially at the time where everybody began taking
Right
their
now,
stuff,
my friend.
putting it in boxes and boards. Oh,
What just happened there?
I don't know. For a second, we winked out, but
All right, so let's do a quick Rex cap. And Jay, is the normal break 7:30, the second one?
Yeah, your last one's going to be at 7:30. Or yeah, 7:30.
Gotcha. All right.
you've already talked through your 15 breaks, sir. We never know when the break is.
We kind of went long, so I wanted to make
Tonight's
sure
break is
the time-
7:21.
All right, so enough time for a recap. All right, so in case anyone is in the room has not joined the giveaway tonight is Barbarella number 5, signed by Ken Hazer, and the hashtag is #EXP Monday. You only need to enter it once. All right, so then starting from the top, the Dynamite 10-pack.
Real quick, Rex. If people entered
Yeah.
early in the show, enter again now. I'm trying something.
Okay, so did you guys hear that? So if you did enter, you can do it again.
I'm just testing some new tech that I would like to roll out if it doesn't fail horribly.
Ooh, it's
There
the
you go.
Viewmaster with the audio track now.
Phil, what's up, man? All right. So then we had the Dynamite 10-pack reader set. 10 random Dynamite titles, $3.99 cover price or higher. And we have it as always. So a $40 retail value. So we have it tonight at $5, as we always do. Then we have the DF grab bag, 15 books for $10. Marvel, DC, Indies. Then, of course, we have the DF Mystery Box, 2 CGC 9.8s, 1 Virgin, 1 signed, 1 exclusive cover, and 10 back issues. $200 retail guaranteed value in there, and we've got it for $100, 50% off. This one, I'm shocked. I am such a huge fan of this movie. I can't believe this book is still sitting there. 2001: A Space Odyssey #1.
I am a
From
little bit surprised this is
1976.
still here.
Yeah, me too. The Masters, Jack Kirby creative, Stanley Kubrick, and Arthur C. Clarke, obviously on the screenplay and book. We have for $25. Amazing Spider-Man #74 from 1969. Stan Lee and John Romita Sr. as a creative team. And we have this for $90. It's one of the few 12-cent books that we got our hands on.
I really like this cover though. I really like this a lot. The background, the characters in the foreground. It's very cool.
All right, and we have Captain America #100, the beginning of the Cap title. And Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and it's a key. Black Panther's real name is revealed, T'Challa. And we have this for $150 tonight.
This is a book. I would say I'm surprised because $150 isn't, like a $10 book. But I would hope that people have this in their collection if they're passing on it. You know what I mean? This is something you kind of want in your collection.
Right.
And I think it was TJ. TJ, at one point, I was the only kid racing home from wrestling practice to watch Dark Shadows. Like, my wrestling coach couldn't believe when I told him why I was leaving. The only reason I got away with it was because there was no one within 40 pounds in our entire division of me as a heavyweight as a wrestler. I was bigger than most of the coaches at that time. So, if I told them, hey, look, I can't stay for like the extra second, third, fourth tertiary practice at the home, I would catch the last bus home. And then once I could drive, it was like,
See ya.
Yeah, I was like, look, I gotta go home, man. My stories are on.
All right.
Yes. The only other thing I
The
found that was
Spider-Man
even
74.
slightly like Dark Shadows was something called the Edge of Night.
So let me see if it's written on there. If it's not, we'll ask.
Do we need to summon Collecting Dude?
Maybe Collecting Dude. Collecting Dude.
Say his name 3 times.
Ken, hold on a sec. I'm gonna see if it's on the back. If it's not,
I could have. We say his name 3 times. Does he show up?
you're retired. Like Beetlejuice. Oh.
Yes.
It's collecting time.
It's collecting time. I told you, man.
Dude, I swear, I don't know what he eats.
Go gadget grading mode.
Depending on what he eats, I get different Alex depending on the day.
Big bad Beetlejuice.
Best ones are Thursday.
Well, you get office Alex. I get fun Alex, man.
He eats tofu on Thursday, so that helps. It calms it.
Thanks,
Okay?
Rex.
You're welcome. Mondays are usually awful. He's had way too much sugar
My
over the
sister-in-law
weekend.
got so mad at me because she insisted I try tofu, and I wrapped it in bacon. And she did not speak for me to an entire day. That is not what tofu is for. Okay?
Probably
I
tastes
soaked the
pretty good.
tofu in hot sauce,
That probably tastes
patted it
pretty
a little
good.
dry, wrapped it in bacon, a little bit of cornstarch, and
I gotta admit, that's funny. That is funny.
it was a great chewy bite.
It's very nice.
Oh yeah,
it's
TJ, that's right. I almost forgot about that.
probably a 7.0 to a 7.5.
Oh,
It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spine ticks, but they're not really color breaking. It's, if you can see it, it presents very nice. The back is very, very nice, and it's off-white pages. Actually, it's probably off-white to white. So I'd say 7.0 to 7.5 on this one. Great cover right there. John Romita right there.
All right. So, Ken, let us know if you're interested. All right, where I leave off.
I shall go back to where I'm going. Why?
God. It's only Monday.
I can
Oh,
get
God.
Nick in here if I say his name 3 times in terms of stuff I want him to publish. And then Nick is like, no, we're not publishing that at all. Stop that right now.
All right. So then we've got where we at? Where did I leave off, Jay?
Captain America,
100, I guess.
100.
All right. So we have this for 150.
Eddie, not too much beer. I prefer to think of it as the fitness people use as drink to failure.
So, all right. Next up, we have Daredevil number 27 from 1967. Stan Lee and Joe Colan as a creative team. Death of Mass Marauder. And we have that for 20. Also a 12 center. Yeah, Ron, guy, you can't drink too much of your gal.
I don't have medicine for that. Just ask your doctor for allopurinol. It's fine.
Do not listen to him for medical advice. That's all I'm telling you right now.
I went to college with a surgeon. Well, he
Do
wasn't a
not
surgeon
listen to this
then.
guy for medical advice.
Considering the way I eat, it's a medical marvel that I made 60. Are you kidding me?
Dear God. All right.
My
So
cardiologist should have taken a round of applause.
goes to seminars. This is patient A. Okay.
Well, I love my cardiologist, but when him and I go down to Mickey Moto in Newark, Delaware, and we polish off like 40 plates from the belt, it's hard. He doesn't really have a lot of moral high ground when he tells me, hey, you have to watch what you eat. Well, I watch what you eat, Doc, and you owe about $80 in the bill.
All right. Next up, we got Fantastic Four number 74 from 1968. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby creative team. Appearance by Silver Surfer and Galactus.
I don't know
And we
if
have
this is
this
like the
for
first
30.
pre-century. I feel like this is the first like something from space. So hopefully somebody kind of looks it up a little bit. Maybe I'm just mistaken, but I'm trying to figure out, is the green thing a pre-century or?
All right. So then we got Marvel Team Up number 4 from 1972. Spider-Man and the X-Men. Jerry Conway and Gil Kane creative team. And we got this one for 25. See you, Corey.
Good night, Corey.
All right, then you got it, Corey.
Oh, Corey, that's super nice.
He's been like Santa lately. All right, so then we have Spider-Man and Batman, Disordered Minds, #1 from 1995 by Mark Bagley. First appearance of Cletus Cassidy Carnage. And the Joker's bad guy for good, as the other bad guy for good measure. All right, then we have Batman number 358 from 1983. Jerry Conway and Kurt Swan creative team, and we have this one for 25. All right.
Well, yeah, I mean, think about it. Think of how much people would be into.
Oh crap! I went 3 over. I'm sorry. Team up for.
You don't care about Jane the Experience at all,
huh? It is Ken.
Final break.
We're good. Actually, you know what, Jay? We'll take the break. Ken, hang out with us. I will have Wizard Boy come back in and do a quick grade.
I'm going to collect the dude's name 3 more times
and to tell you what shape it's in, give you kind of an exact number. So go ahead and take us to break, Jay.
Whoa. Whoa. Did you miss it? Yeah, they can go by pretty fast. Let's slow down the footage.
Welcome. It's time to skim some comics. Miles Morales Spider-Man, I will just tell you that Miles is very important in his role as a vampire. So
It's fine. If you like Hercules, read it. If you don't like it, don't worry about it. It's fine.
The art is still stunning. There's a panel, little spoiler, there's a panel in this where Chitauri first hits Lion-O, and he is the best "did she really just hit me" face I've ever seen put in a comic book.
Wow, live reviews of new comic books so you can be ready for New Comic Book Day. What is this? Oh, I see. It's Minute to Skim It. Part of the experience.
What do you call the place on Spider-Man's wrists where the webs come out? His website. I hate myself for writing that joke, but you'd make me feel so much better if you just visited our website. We have links to our merch, new release lists, all the show info, and so much more. TheEXPLive.com.
All right, we're back. All right, Alex, where'd you go? So he wanted to do it while we were on. So, oh my God.
Marvel Team Up #4, Spider-Man and the X-Men. No, Scott, don't blast him. Not now, or he'll fall to his death. Too late, lady. Scratch one, Spider-Man. This time you pushed us too far.
He asked you to read the cover, dude.
I could have sworn you said, Alex, please read the cover to the audience.
Next week, we'll have Alex doing motion comics.
Amy, give me the track gun.
Amy.
Motion comics.
Amy has her headphones in because the last thing she wants to hear is anything from us. So I can't blame her.
So, Ken, I apologize for the, I don't even know what to call it. But we're getting you a grade right now. Hey, Ron, what's up, bud?
Grading expert. A lot of shows can't say that.
I'm gonna say this is probably a 5.0 to a 5.5-ish. The black cover does show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 multiple spine ticks and some creasing along the bottom. The back is pretty nice, but other than that, I mean, it's a nice black cover, and the ticks aren't too bad. I'd say probably 5.5. It's nice black cover. It could use a press, but there you go.
All right, so I will say he is excellent when it comes to grading books. The rest of it, yeah.
Actually, you know what? I graded this before. I'm gonna say it's 6.5. So 5.5 to a 6.5, which I graded this last time.
Hey Ron, what's up, bud?
I'm very harsh on things. So
He is. He's an excellent grader. The rest of it, I apologize.
But I mean, let's be honest. It is a nice black cover, early Marvel team up, and it's $25. That's a great price for Spider-Man and the X-Men.
So Ken K, let us know if you want to claim that.
Thank you, Alice. And Ron sent me a thing. I was in traffic and I opened it up. Ron sent me a text, which was a link to a skit to an SNL thing about Halloween cookies. And I know people were looking at me in the traffic light, like, what is this dude laughing at? And it just cracked me up. It was one of those things that
Commander, I try to, bud. Every day I got to do this. Okay, keep in mind, you're watching for 2 hours. I got to put up with it every day. All right, so Ron, perfect timing. We are doing the recap. And next up are the sketch covers. All right. So then we had Spider-Man and Batman Disordered Minds #1 from 1995. First appearance of the Cletus Cassidy Carnage. And we have that for $20. Then we've got Batman #358 from 1983. Jerry Conway and Kurt Swan. Creative team, and we had that for $25. All right, so then we had Batman Beyond #1 with Poison Ivy cover sketch by Joe Delviato and Mariano Nicieza. It's just a retail of $129.99, and we have it for $65. All right, so Ken, very simple. You can email us if you so choose. Okay, and just so you have my email, it's rex.wang@dynamite.com. But there's also a form at the top of the chat, and you that's pinned at the top of the chat that you can see. And you just click on that form, fill out the info. It will give us your email address and your physical address so that we know where we can ship it. And we will send you an invoice tomorrow morning with how to pay, okay, and the total. Okay, and shipping, just so you know, Ken, is up to 6 bag and boarded books, $10 anywhere in the continental United States, priority mail. Okay, and $17.50 for up to 3 slab books. Okay, just so you know. So for that one book, it would probably be, it will be $10 in shipping. All right, and we pack it like, you can ask the other viewers in the group. We pack things as if a nuclear holocaust is going to occur on the way to the mailman. But I'm going to jot you down.
You packed something for me one day, and I'm like, dude, why didn't you just give it to me Monday? That packing had to take like a half an hour.
I don't remember why, okay? It was packed and we weren't unpacking it, okay? I forget.
It's not like I'm not taking other books home on Monday. You could have just thrown that in the pile.
That's why we seal it, okay? That's why we seal it, so that you can't shove something else into it.
Looks like tonight I'll be taking Werewolf by Night and leaving my payment book.
No, dear God. All right. That's why I always try to leave before you get out of here as you're chatting with everyone. Because then it's not on my watch.
No, the Werewolf by Night is
what?
my payment
He
book.
took it?
The Werewolf by Night, that's just me giving Nick my
He took it. I wasn't here. I left. All right. So next up, we have G.I. Joe #301 with Duke cover sketch by Dan Neidlinger. And it's so nice to have him in the chat.
Yeah,
tonight.
Dan was in the chat, confirmed this was Duke, because Mariano's email was bereft of full information and details.
Correct.
I'll let you sort that out tomorrow.
You and Mariano talking. He used big words too, man. Oh my God, that would be like a dictionary thesaurus conversation. All right, so it's just a retail of $129.99, and we have tonight for $65. Then you have Storm #1 with Gambit cover sketch by Tony Scott. I love this one.
CIB, you're right. That's very much what it was like. It was like an assortment of tools I used to get my book open.
So It's just a retail of $129.99, and we have this one for $65.
And now that the Deadpool and Wolverine hype is sort of leveling off a little bit, you know what? If they do, I don't know if Gambit is quite right for a solo movie, but considering some of the solo Disney Plus projects they've done,
right?
I'm pretty sure if you got 6 episodes of Gambit, you would do okay.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if there's enough Gambit fans to fund, the movie would be $170 or $80 million, and they need to make at least $250 million back to consider it a success.
You got it, Ron.
Good job, Ron. I don't know if there's that there, but I could totally see bringing Channing Tatum in.
Ooh, Triple B. I agree.
Oh, I would have zero problems with it. Machine Man, whatever you want to call him. I'd be fine with that. That's a character that really came into his own when Alex Ross started doing like Earth X or whatever it was. You know what I mean? Suddenly that character went from a background character to this was the character that was featured. And I thought that was super cool.
Round guy. Talk about throwing a stick of dynamite into the crowd.
Round guy. I'm assuming Round guy is already a few bourbons in. He talked about because of gout, he doesn't, he's just drinking bourbon these days. My guess he's quite a few bourbons in. Either that account's been half.
Or he just wants to see the fighting. Pass me the popcorn.
And that's what he was talking about his drink of choice. That's what my cardiologist told me. I should be drinking like bourbon. Like I got a doctor's note to drink bourbon, so that's winning. But he suggested drinking like whiskey or bourbon with real ginger ale, not like with actual ginger in it. Maybe lime or something, almost a little bit like almost like a bourbon mule type thing. And 5 or 6 of those, and they don't really affect my numbers when I go to the doctor or anything.
Well, that's all important. All right, so Ron, I sent you an email today. The Ghost Rider you were interested in, that came in. So just want to make sure you know that I sent that email, bud. All right, so next up we have Spider-Man Shadow of the Green Goblin with Goblin and Spider-Man cover sketch by Will Torres. It's just a retail of $129.99, and we have this one for $65.
Will did an amazing job on this. I like this a lot. The Joker thing, I hate to say this, I'm glad to see Joker 2 kind of pancake, because my concern was Joker was a success, and that told guys in suits who make the decisions but have never actually read comics, this is a good idea. Let's take a property from DC and push it into something it was never supposed to be, never meant to be.
Right.
Just take it completely out of context, out of the universe it's in, blah, blah, blah. My interest in seeing and supporting movies like that is zero. And people know I see multiple movies every week of the year. And my interest in seeing stuff like that, when I heard Joker 2 was 2 hours of film, I was happy for it.
Cracking me up.
I really have no interest in seeing, a Scarecrow movie where the Scarecrow is some weird serial killer. Please, my interest in that is zero.
All right, so then we had Symbiote Spider-Man #1 with Venom cover sketch by Jessica Court. It's just a retail of $149.99, and we have this one for $65.
Yes, CIB, you're right. In that other cover, the fact that the dividing between the two faces is a web is just
cool.
Yeah.
All right, then we have Daredevil, Woman Without Fear #1, signed by Erica Schultz. It's just at retail of $30, and we have it for $15.
Yeah, I love this idea of finally like a Daredevil I can get behind this stuff.
All right, then we have Werewolf by Night #14, CGC 9.6 from 1974, and we have this one for $250. Then we have Monstrous #1, CGC. Signature Series 9.8, signed by Marjorie Liu and Santa Takeda, and we have this for $1,800 tonight. Then we have Frank Franzetta's Dracula Meets the Wolfman, CGC 9.8, Blue Label 1 of 1, and we have it for $200 tonight. And then we have let's see, Ghost Rider number 22, CGC 9.8. And only 14 on the census for this one. And we have this one for 200. Then Werewolf by Night number 32, CGC in a 6.5 from 1975. White pages, fantastic centering. And we have this for $1,000.
How is he still here at this low price?
All right. And then Dracula meets Wolfman. I believe that is.
Well, it's Frazetta, but I'm wondering who the publisher is.
Is it Image?
It seems like an Image thing.
Sitting right there. No. Is it? Which one is it?
Oh, I will take this one up.
Hold on. Let me look.
Okay. And if this doesn't glow in the dark, take it away. Because if you look at that cover, it's clearly glowing.
Here it is. It is Image.
Yeah. I was going to say that seems to be the sort of.
All right. And then we got the big one. All right. So Captain America's Comics number 74, CGC 1.8, a Golden Age book. And we have this for $7,500. So these high-end books, we will definitely do a payment plan. If you are interested, contact me. You can do that either through email or the submission form, and I can give you the details. All right. So these are the incentives from last week. Pull this in back. No. All right. So here we go. So this is what we have left. Batman Full Moon number 1, 125 ratio by Mike Perkins. And we have this for $10. Then we have Batman and Robin Year 1 number 1, 125 ratio by Carl Kessel. Kessel.
Like the Ron.
I hope so. Oh, Kessel. I like that. That's good. All right. And we have that for $15. Then we have Mystique Volume 2, number 1 from 2024, 125 ratio. And we have by David Baldione, and we have that for $20. Then we have Mystique Volume 2, number 1 from 2024, 150 ratio by Yasmin Putri. We have that for $40. Then we have Wolverine Volume 8, number 2, 125 ratio by Alexander Lozano. And we have that for $20.
Man, the composition of this character cover is pretty wild. If you're a Wolverine fan, I hope you have this. This is really cool.
No kidding, right? All right, so last week's Dynamite books, Powerpuff Girls number 4 came out. Most are cover price of $4.99 or higher. Some are higher because they are incentives or virgins. Tell us which one you're interested in. Hit the submission form, tell us the letter, and we will get you a price, but most are $4.99. Then we got Vampirella number 672. And we have that for $4.99 as well. Okay, we got to get cooking. All right, this week, release this coming Wednesday. This week's Dynamite Books, Powerpuff Girls Halloween Special number 1, cover A by Kat Staggs. We have that at $5.99 cover price. Then cover B by Trish Forstner, and we have that at $5.99. Then cover C by Sylvia De Ventura, and we have that for $5.99 as well. Then we have cover D by Kat Staggs. It is a foil cover, and we have that for $9.99. Then cover E, Kat Staggs foil version for $29.99. Then cover F and cover N are the blank white cover and the blank pink cover. And those we have a cover price of $5.99. Then also releasing on Wednesday, we have Army Darkness Forever number 13, cover A by Arthur Sudam. And we have that at cover price of $5.99. Then Army Darkness Forever, cover B by Bjorn Berens. And we have that for cover price of $5.99. And then cover C by Chris Burnham. And we have that at cover price of $5.99. Then we have cover D by Tony Fleece, who's sitting at Robbie's store right now. And we have that for cover price of $5.99. Then also out this coming Wednesday, Thundercats Chitara number 4, cover A, cover price of $4.99. Then cover B by Ted Brandt and Rose Stein for cover price of $4.99.
This is a cool cover.
And then we have cover C by Liritz Lee, and we have that cover price of $4.99. Then cover D by Pasquale Quolano, and we have that for $4.99 as well. And then cover E by Edwin Gallman, and we have that for $4.99. And then cover G, the Liritz Lee Limited Virgin Edition. We have that for $50. Marcus, I don't have the answer to that. Not tonight, but let me find out. No, it wasn't Ralph Lauren, I'm pretty sure. It was, I don't know which one you're asking about, bud. All right, so then we have Kong, the Great War, number 6, cover A by Jay Lee and June Chung for $3.99. Cover B by Butch Geist and Ivan Nunes for $3.99. Cover C by Joe DeVito for $3.99. And then also out on Wednesday, Lilo and Stitch, cover A, number 6, cover A by Nicoletta Balderi, $4.99. Cover B by Trish Forstner for $4.99. Cover C by Edwin Gallman for $4.99. Cover D by Craig Rousseau for $4.99. All right, so Becky, the black and which was the black and white? Do you see? Because I was reading.
Right there. I think it's a date.
It is cover C.
C.
All right, gotcha, Becky.
I'm enjoying this a lot. This kind of started during the Godzilla Kong hype, and I think maybe people didn't quite jump on. It's been a little bit irregular in the schedule, but this is a very cool story. Seeing King Kong before the classic movie time of 1933 or whatever it is a blast.
I don't know why it sounded like that, guys. All right, so then pre-orders. The Terminator #1, Alex Ross, premium metal, Dynamite.com exclusive. So we got this metal cover, Bjorn Berens. Yeah, that probably sounds like Ralph Lauren. We have this for $100 or $99.99. And then this one has been real popular. Terminator #1, Declan Shalvey, premium embossed metal cover. So it is an embossed metal for $125. All right, and that does it. And if you watch Wednesday, we'll be doing the Dynamite Books of the Week again. If you're watching on Rewind, feel free to hit the submission form and contact us. And if it's still available, we will honor the price you hear on the show tonight. Other than that,
it's a quality reference, CJ.
Bjorn free. So Jay, what else is coming up after us tonight?
So, I believe that Robbie's having the PCP movie night still, correct?
Right, I believe so.
Tonight it is Return of the Living Dead. I know that because I'll be having his show on my phone when I get home, and I'll watch the movie tonight.
There you go. All right, and then
After
What's
that,
on after that?
yeah, after that at 11 Eastern, 10 Central, we're going to have Best Coast Comics, and they are going to be talking about the Frankenstein swap recap and apparently IDW's new logo.
Very cool. Round guy, I can do that. I won't charge you shipping on the invoice I send to you tomorrow, okay?
I was wondering if someone was going to talk about the new IDW logo. People at New York Comic Con had specific feelings about it. I'll put it that way.
Gotcha. All right, so we're back.
Jay forgot to tell you that Jay and I are hosting a live sale on Saturday.
Oh, cool.
Here on the Experience. I've not done a live sale on the Experience since like the first month.
I forgot the drawing for the giveaway. I totally forgot. So Jay, can you put that up? Oh my God, I almost closed the show without it.
People waiting. They've been waiting for their chance, and you Mariano them. Take it away.
So give Jay a sec.
And after that show is the first episode of Kyle's Kitchen Experience.
Oh,
that's
I like this. Look at this.
Nice. That's cool.
Here, hold on. Let me.
It isn't supposed to do. There we go.
The first episode of Kyle's Kitchen Experience, we should be in like the parking lot of Sheets or something. Triple B.
Triple B. Congrats, bud.
That's very cool. I like that. Congratulations, cool. Triple B.
That is cool, guys. All right, even more rigged. All right, so we'll be back Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for our 1 hour show. Might go a little long on Wednesday.
Thanks everyone who joined us.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Jay, for some buttons.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Kyle, for dropping in and kind of, adding those Easter eggs we didn't have.
Thank you, John, for coming from Princeton to join me. I appreciate it.
I got to start leaving out of Princeton earlier. I really, we joke about this a lot, but I really don't like walking in at 5:55.
Well, and everybody tune in on Saturday at 5:00 Eastern to see the inmates run the asylum, as it were.
So
nice.
And weird, the giveaway was Barbarella #5, signed by Ken Hazerbud. All right, so tune in on Saturday at what time again?
Ninja Turtle homage.
5, right? Hey, Ken.
Good night, Ken.
All right, so guys, have a good night.
We're out of here. Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you Wednesday.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the Experience is all the time.